Hi, I'm Evan Pantazi, and I wanted to welcome you to my YouTube channel. I got a question in from Rien Breetvelt. I hope I pronounced that right. And he asks for the is the five-element theory viable? And he asked from that video, are sounds working in your opinion? And I replied that here's some suggested reading on it, and I'd make a video, and here I am making a video about it. So let's go here to the sound. This was written back in January 1st of 2013. I wrote this article about sound, and I will get into the history about sound in a little bit, but you got to remember sound is a vibration that goes into our inner ear and vibrates the eardrum, and that produces electrical signals, stimulation to the brain, and then from the brain to the rest of the body. It moves in frequencies. Now, what a frequency is how fast the transition is in the sound itself. If you have a low frequency, that's like bass. You feel that in your body. You feel that in your lower legs and your limbs and your gut. If you have a high frequency, your body tends to tighten up because it makes your body contract. The muscles contract. That in itself is a viable technique to use with Kyusho. And the reason being is Kyusho is working on the nervous system. Now, if the brain has been stimulated and is causing the body to contract, as example, and you strike it, it's going to be harder to enact the Kyusho because the muscles are tightened, the body condenses and contracts, and it's going to be hard to get between the muscles, the bones, the ligaments, and the tendons to get to the nerves that you want to attack. So making a high-pitched sound, like a scream, for example, is going to eliminate some of your possibility with the Kyusho. However, if you make a lower sound and it vibrates the ears and it causes the opponent's body to relax a bit, then you can get into the Kyusho targets just a bit easier. Now, this it's like listening to a siren. When a siren comes down the street, you're going to clench up, or someone rubs their fingers down a chalkboard. You're going to tighten up. So again, that's not conducive to a Kyusho attack. Now, where these sounds came from is Gary Rooks. Now, Gary Rooks, let's go back out to the main page here for a second and type in sound. And this is all you have to do. Let's get down here. And let's get down to writing sound. And if you search for it, you'll see a bunch of different things. A lot of these, with this window here, those are private inside topics for subscribers. Anyway, let's go to Gary Rooks. Now, Gary Rooks was the guy that correlated the sound with Kyusho. It wasn't Song Park, and it wasn't some of these other guys. It was Gary Rooks, because he was working side by side. He was working in the cable industry. And one of the workers there had a family lineage back to Gokenki. All right, and that's written about in other sections, but I don't want to get into it too much. But Gary Rooks is the guy that brought sound into the Kyusho. And how he did that was working with this older gentleman, and again, I'm not going to say his name or anything, but he was a White Crane stylist. And what he had done is not told Gary directly what sounds were what. Gary had to guess. Now, when he approached the old man, because of the etiquette and the honor of the culture not to spread the secrets, Gary would ask him a question on sounds, and if he said no, Gary would just leave and go find another answer. When the old man never said anything and smiled, that was indication to Gary that he was on the right page with it. And again, that comes from the white crane lineage. All right, but again, sound does have an effect on Kyusho. But what so many people do, and what the others have done in the DKI and other venues that use the sound as well, is they try to think that that's the way to affect the Kyusho better. It enhances it. But if your hands aren't on the targets, they aren't on the targets correctly, they aren't sending in the proper energetic tensions into the, or stimulus into the nervous system of the opponent, well, then the sound isn't going to work at all. All right, and if you make the wrong sound, say like a high-pitched sound, and it tightens the person's body, you're not going to get the effect. So some of these other people that are teaching this sound have it quite incorrect, and that's why it doesn't work. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to name this individual, but we were at a training camp a long time ago, and when I watched, and a lot of the other higher-ups at the time were watching this man try to perform a technique, and it was not working, and he was making every sound that he was teaching. And people still follow this guy, but although the sounds didn't work. And as a personal story, I was out in Spain, and I was doing a seminar, and someone came up to me and said I was at a Song Park seminar, and we were doing sound, and he asked if I could do sound, and I said, well, what were you learning? And he was telling me, and I asked him, was it effective? And he goes, well, I think so. So I decided to stop what I was doing with the seminar and start introducing the sounds that Gary Rooks uncovered via this old white crane master. And what had happened after about 30 minutes, 45 minutes of training this one sound, people were starting to get nauseous. Some people passed out. Some people turned pale. Some people just had to sit it out. They were getting sick. Okay, and that's because we had the correct sounds, and some of them were getting the correct application on the nerves at the same time. And I asked the guy, did you get those effects at the seminar? And he said, no, this is quite different. And that's because we were working with the reality of the sound. So anyway, sound, yes, it is correct. It can be only be used really in conjunction with the nerves, the blood vessels, are not going to be affected by it. What I could say is it could be affected, the blood vessel could be affected if you have not already placed your hand on the target, made a high-pitched sound, made the guy contract. Well, then it's going to be harder for your hands to get into the blood vessels because they're deeper than the nerves. And the muscles are going to tense, the body's going to contract, the bones are going to compress together as the muscles pull them together, and you're not going to be able to get to the blood vessel. So that's how sound would negate a blood attack. But again, if you don't even have your hands on the targets, you're not going to get the sound to work no matter what. And again, the wrong sound will hinder your performance rather than help. So yes, sound is real. It works great. It does take a long time to get it down with the timing of the grab and whatnot. So it's not a beginner art, and it's not going to make you have magic just because you know a sound. It's to enhance your Kyusho. If you can't do Kyusho, it won't help you. Okay, so that's the bottom line. I hope this answers your question, and I really thank you for asking it. It's important that our readers get the questions out that they want. So we can make more videos, help explain it a little bit, and we'll go from there. So thanks for watching. Take care.